Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our November North Texas CCM Luncheon. We have a full house today. We sold out all of our seats, 200, and we still have a waiting list. Still a lot of people haven't claimed their name tag yet, but I want to thank all of you guys attending this wonderful luncheon. This will be our last luncheon for the year. I'm pretty excited that I'm about to pass the baton to Max Swartzstein. He's the incoming chapter president. So I'm relieved that he's going to take over. My name is Calvin Wong. I'm the current chapter president. Welcome all of you guys. So we have a really great speaker today. But before that, I want to introduce our luncheon sponsor. I'd like to thank City of Carrollton, EDC, Director of EDC, Robert Winningham. Would you like to come out and just say a few words, please?
Thank you for coming, and as a proud North Texas alum, go Mean Green!
All right, thank you. There's definitely a lot of deals to be made in City of Carrollton. Next, I would like to congratulate our newest CCIM that recently got pinned in Chicago. Please stand up to be recognized. All right. And a few of us. Excellent. Congratulations. So for those of you guys that are curious about CCIM, please reach out to us, our board member and communities. It's a really good it's one of the most expensive accessories that you can have. The pin itself. And we are fortunate to have David Stitzer, our global CCM president. And what?
I need a seat.
Oh, you need a seat.
Who's got a seat? Thank you.
All right, there you go. Ask and you shall receive. All right, next. Where is my scholarship recipients? So every year we put out two major events, our golf tournament and clay shoot event, that we raise funds for this scholarship. So let me see. I have Brooke Ford. Can you come up, please? Trinity Herrera. All right. Pam Lucia. Okay. James Murphy. Sal Lopez. Sal, where are you? Come on up. Caroline Chasen? Nope. All right, perfect. So they are gonna be 1, 2, 3. Congrats on getting the scholarship. They're gonna be the up and coming rising star for the CRE industry. Thank you so much. Okay, how's the food? How's the salad? And the creme brulee looks so good. I think it's the first time they had creme brulee. Before it would usually be like a chocolate cake or whatnot. All right, are you all ready? Are you all ready for Dr. Baen? Who's ready for Dr. Baen? All right, this gentleman needs no introduction. This is his 28th year speaking for our chapter. So, what an honor. Dr. Baen?
Okay, here's the deal. Calvin was one of my first students. He's 74 years old, and we're really proud to have him. And also, y'all are so kind to allow the UNT students, the current students, to stand up. If you guys will please stand up, it'd be great. No, stand up, students. Where are you? Where are the UNT? Oh, they're over here. All right, that's good. Let's give them a hand. That's good. That's good. I need headphones up there, please. I need it going. It's not going yet. Okay, here's the deal, guys. I want you to eat. I want you to throw rolls at me, whatever you got to do. If you had a really good look at me, I'm now going to take off my jacket because we got to go to work. And I talk really fast. But the reason a lot of people are here is because they can keep up with me because they're CCIMs and they think faster than I can talk. So they already know what I'm talking about. And you know, this is a really weird year we've got going here. And so I got a new hat. And that new hat, let's see here, it's over here. Yeah, here it is. I'm the Mad Hatter. There you go, right here, man. And listen, if you don't agree with me, you're wrong. Everybody has an opinion, and most of us in this room are not afraid to say what that opinion is. The answer to any Baen question is it depends. Remember that from several times. And so no man knows the future, but every woman does. And remember this, that anything that is bad, I mean like really bad, is good for somebody else. And no matter what I say, please understand, I'm just a guy and I'm giving you my opinion. But I will tell you, you're in the right place at the right time, studying the right thing, and in the right investment and the right attitude. Because let me just tell you, your attitude determines your altitude. Interest rates go to, the 10-year interest rate, 10-year treasury is going to go to 5.5 or 6. Is that good or bad? Well, because why do interest rates go up? Either a shortage of capital or anticipation of inflation. And this inflation thing is not dead yet. We have a worldwide inflation deal. We have a worldwide meltdown of too much loans and not enough money to pay for. We got all kinds of chaos. Is chaos good or bad?
It depends.
Man, there's always opportunity in chaos. Let me just give you another example. The difference between, how are you? It's good to see you. Another good example is the difference between a recession and a depression, of course, is a recession, you know somebody's lost their job, and a depression is when you've lost yours. There is no difference whatsoever. And 45,000 Silicon Valley people have been laid off in the last 10 days. 45,000. Let me describe these people. They're bulletproof. They're the smartest guys in the room. They know everything, and their life is perfect forever. True or false? Don't say it depends. And I can tell you that their average house, and you know, God bless them. I'm very benevolent about it, and it breaks my heart. You know, how do you call a computer analyst in Silicon Valley today? Hey, waiter, you know. They're rearranging. They're really trying to change the companies and make them better for the shareholders only. You know, business is about maximizing shareholder value, not necessarily being a social club, hiring people, etc., etc. Well, let me just putting yourself in other people's shoes is what our business is all about. And trying to know what they feel like and all that. So I'll be the computer nerd for a minute, okay? And you can probably do a better job than me, because y'all are nerds, most of you are. And so I just got laid off, but that's not what they told me at HR. They said that I was reallocated back into the private workforce. And so now I go home and I say, hey man, we got a $2 million house, which is what they live in, and we have a $1 million loan, which is what they owe, and the payments on that dog are only $10,000 a month because they don't have the same property taxes as we do. And so they're thinking to themselves, if we all put our houses on the market at the same time, there's going to be a crash in $2 million houses in Silicon Valley. Well, let me put it a little differently. There'll be a minor correction in the marketplace. It's going to crash. So they're going to think to themselves, what can I do, what can I do? You know, this is about me and my family, and we got to make it, and this and that, and we've been good people, and we worked really hard, and we feel like we've just been, you know, put down the toilet. And so they're going to say, we can't sell our house right now. We'll find somebody to rent it for 10 grand because that's half of what it was last year. Because we could rent our house last year for 20 grand a month. We're going to rent it for 10 grand a month instead of going into foreclosure. Because we don't have any money. And we don't say foreclosure anymore, it's asset reallocation. Back to the bank. It's not funny. So this is what's going on right now. and we're going to get on an airplane and we're going to come to Dallas as fast as we can. And we're going to buy a house for a quarter of what the house we live in before our credit goes to hell in a handbasket. You think I'm kidding? It's going to happen. And so we need to be ready for it. The other thing before I start my little talk, and I'm sorry for my introduction so far, I'm already 10 minutes behind. Texas A&M, I went there 3 times. I know, it's so stupid up here. They are estimating that within 10 to 15 years we're going to have 5 million people more in Texas. That's, you know, that's a pretty good chunk, whatever, except that we arrested 2.4 million new Americans at the border this year. In 1 year, 2.5 million got there new Americans. Is that good or bad? What the hell? You haven't learned anything from it. We're in the real estate business. More people is better than fewer people. It doesn't. And how many of them are going to stay in Texas? Most of them. Why? Because of the culture. How many people in here speak Spanish? Let's see your hands. Come on. 3 people, 4 people. Call the INS and get them back across the river. Do you know what wife is in Spanish? Anybody?
Esposa.
Esposa. You know what handcuffs is? Esposa. It's exactly the same. Exactly the same. Okay, now I got to get going here. How do you do this thing? Right. Okay. I'm so sorry that those who can't see. I'm going to have the speech. Where's Laura? Where's Laura? Laura, where are you, girl? Where's she in the other room? She gone already? Well, you can email her, and there's 42 pages of bullet points for my speech. There's 200 slides, and let me apologize to those that have never been to one of my lectures, because those slides are for me, not for you to see. It's to remind me what to say, okay? But the 42-page deal will be available to the CCIM people that attend today, okay? So what we're looking at here is, instead of looking at a real estate deal and saying, hey, does it work? We're going to look at the whole world, and then we're going to come down and we're going to look at capital and what's going on with money. And the dollar is so strong. It is so stinking strong. Is that good or bad? If you're trying to sell something to the rest of the world, it's bad. They can't afford to buy anything that we have. Nothing. What do we sell the rest of the world besides warplanes, rockets, and stuff like that to Ukraine? Okay, so the next deal is, we got the Texas economy, we got the U.S., now we go down to the different classes of real estate. And I have an opinion on the next 3 to 5 years on every kind of real estate there is, but it's primarily in Texas, okay? All right, so what we got here, the introduction to the world, okay, number 1, 50% of the whole world's wealth is in real estate, so congratulations, we got that part. Inflation rate, I don't think we're anywhere close to being done yet. We have we went from 0% Fed rate to 2 to 3 to 4, and now it went to like 4.5 on the 10-year. Well, is that good or bad? You guys were selling cap rate deals at 3.5 to the stupid California people. I'm telling you, and how about CDs? CDs have gone to 4 to 4.5 for a 12-month CD. Which one is less risky? Let's put it that way. A CD or a Jack in the Box in Southern California. Okay, now. So, but even if your house is paid for in Texas, it's going to cost you 4% a year to own it. Okay? That's 3% taxes and 1% insurance. Are you with me here? So, but we don't have state income taxes. It's a good deal. California right now, we got to look at California, and I'm not throwing rocks at them, okay? I was born on the Caltech campus. Seriously, my dad was a graduate student there, and my mom was pregnant, and I got born in California, and I don't tell most people that. They got a $30 billion deficit this year. That's not a savings account, that's a deficit. We got a $30 billion goddamn surplus sitting in a rainy day fund down in Austin right now with no state income taxes. We are the cat's meow right now. You're in the right place at the right time. Okay, let's keep going here now. What else? Got credit card rates have gone from 16 to 32%. And also credit balances, credit card balances. I've got it right over here. I showed it to 3 people before the deal. I couldn't get it in there because it came out today. It came out today, and that was during COVID. credit card balances of the Feeling the Pulse of America were down 15%. And they were using like the federal money that everybody was getting to pay down their credit card, which is a smart thing to do. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. They were also refinancing their houses and pulling money out and paying off their credit card debt, which is fantastic. So it went down 15% of the total amount of debt on credit cards. But yesterday it came out, it's up 15%. So we got a 30% spread from 12 months ago to right now. A lot of people are buying groceries on their goddamn credit card because they got no money. I know of one household that I thought was doing pretty good. They don't have the heat on for the last 3 days because they're afraid of what their bill's going to be. There's no margin in our middle class and lower class people, so to speak. They don't have the increase. Did you know that your electric bill in Texas went up 47% in the last 12 months? This is bullshit. Let me describe bullshit, okay? I'm taking Spanish lessons and it's caca de toro, okay? We have the highest electric rates in the United States right now. What is going on here? Well, I'm not investing in utilities and things like that. I don't invest in financials right now. I don't believe it's doing really well. I'm predicting a 28,000 Dow, and you know the S&P and the Nasdaq. And what about this Bitcoin? I mean, holy shit! I mean, I had a student. Seriously, he works for Fidelity. I don't know if that tells you anything. I mean, he's a sharp guy, really sharp guy. He called me up last year. Baen, I disagree with you. I said, well, that's healthy. I appreciate that. I celebrate our differences, okay? I got 4 Bitcoins, man, worth 80 grand each. Well, congratulations, young man. That's awesome. My recommendation is you sell them immediately. No. I'm not selling my Bitcoin ever. It's going to be the new thing. They're going to split them, and my 4 of them are going to become 36 of them, and all this bullshit, okay? I said, no. Are you renting? Are you still living with your parents? Yeah. How'd you know? I said, well, I just figured because you're stupid. And not only are you stupid, but your parents are stupid. They ought to kick your ass out of the house. Quit buying Bitcoin. I begged him to go to Justin, Texas, and buy a house for $320,000 and cash in his Bitcoins. And he didn't do it. And now they're worth about 60 grand instead of 300 grand or whatever it was. And he bought the house in Justin anyway. So he is totally screwed now. No Bitcoin and a very expensive house in Justin cost for it. All right, I got to keep going here. So the world in the United States runs on cheap energy, which we don't have right now. I mean, we really don't. And but we'll talk more about that. The strong dollar is attracting more immigration. It's dropping the price of gold. The strong dollar is really, I mean, what's happening is the strong dollar is attracting all of the money in the world. They perceive, the foreigners perceive that the dollar is safe because of FDIC. Do you all really believe? Do you know what the reserves are in the banks today? We got somebody from Frost Bank in here. Where are you? I got. Who's from Frost Bank? What percentage reserves do you have in the banking system over there? I don't mind telling you about 3 or 4%. So when they go broke, FDIC's got to come in, and they've only got 3 or 4%. So I mean, I'm not really cool on the deal. Inflation and appreciation are 2 different things. Appreciation when the demand and supply is down and the demand is up, which we have here, and inflation when the value of the dollar goes down. There is no question in Baen's mind, that they're going to crash the dollar. They have to. They have to crash the dollar. Why? Well, have you ever heard of a debt ceiling? The government hasn't. They're going to run out of money in 2 weeks. April 15th isn't for another 4 months. You run your business like that? I guess the new Bitcoin, what's it called, FX or what, I guess that's the way they do it. So anyway, I got to keep going. Migration is going to continue. We don't really want to stop it. We want to ship the bad ones to Chicago and Boston and stuff like that. I think that's pretty cool. If they've got a disease or a background in crime, we're sending them to Philadelphia. Wow. Wow. Why don't they stop us from doing that? They can't. They can't. It's so stupid. Do we really want to stop them? I think it needs to be orderly. We need to have green cards and all that kind of stuff. But at any rate, migration is going to continue on. We've got, what else going on? On the energy side, we don't pay a lot of attention to it because we've got Midland, Odessa, and all that. But there are wars going on in Kenya. There are wars going on in the Congo. There's wars going on in Rwanda. There's a lot of wars going on in Africa right now because of oil and gas is there. Mozambique just sold their first bunch of oil this last 2 weeks. There is no shortage of oil, guys. There's only a shortage of it where people need it and don't have it. And when they drop the value of the dollar, oil's going to go to 150 bucks. And so that's a good thing for Saudi Arabia. All right, I got to move along here. PPP loans, I'm not going to ask you, PP loan, that's like an old man deal, because they got to pee all the time. And they got a new wine, it's called Pee No More. It's really tasty. I had some last night, but anyway. The default rate in the PPP loan is unbelievable, and the feds are after those people that misuse those funds, and that should be. They just threw the money away. All right, next deal, real quick. Everybody is using COVID as an excuse not to do things, not to come to class, not to pay their bills, not to go to work, to be late to work, or whatever. I'm not going to ask for a show of hands, okay? But me personally, I told you all last time that I was looking for a beautiful woman in this room, in this same room. I was looking for a beautiful woman that had COVID and red lips so I could pay her 250 bucks to catch it naturally. COVID has had a drag on this economy, but so much of it is as a result of excuses. Excuses not to do things. Excuses not to go to work. Excuses not to do all kinds of things. And I know that we're not in this business, but even in office business is going to have a big deal. All right, so Facebook is down 43%, etc. Hong Kong stocks are going down. Binance abandoned FTX stuff. There we got some CDs. We got $31 trillion in debt, which adds up to $500,000 per man, woman, and child in this country. And that just came out, except that it was wrong because they didn't add the household debt of $16 trillion. So we're talking about some serious money here. Is there enough money to pay back any debt at all, or all the debt for everybody in the country? No. So what is the solution? They're going to have to print money, guys. Or they're going to have to devalue the dollar, or they're going to have, I don't know what the answer is. It's the only way out. So mortgages went out the roof. Strong dollar is hurting the rest of the world. Student loans, cancellation of $400 billion. That's on the Fed books as an asset. If we cancel it, then we owe more. We have more debt. Let's see, a debt limit. What a joke! Notice they haven't been talking about it during the midterm elections. Higher rates hit bigger stocks. Why is that? All stock people, when interest rates are 2, 2.5, when they're prime like that, and the REITs too, by the way, the Real Estate Investment Trust, they had long-term financing fixed. Remember that? And it was like 5%. And to increase their cash flow, they dropped back, shortened the duration, and borrowed money at 2.5. That money's coming due. And what will be the rate on the refinance? Ooh, I think that we're going to have a real correction. I'm excited about it. Bank depositors pull out $370 billion. What are they doing with this money? I want to follow the money. Okay, and the mood of America goes up or down with whatever it costs to fill their truck right now. And right now, to fill my truck is $64. And all of the energy areas are up, which affects your tenants, affects you, affects everybody, et cetera, et cetera. I got to keep going. So the Saudis say, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to have 100-year bonds. And we're going to have interest-only 100-year bonds. Isn't that a nice idea? Who's going to buy them? Well, we'll see about that. So the Fed can't print more workers. 49% of the United States is working. 51% are not. There are many, many out there who have chosen the low road or the golden road. It depends on your point of view. They said, you know what? I'm tired of being on the treadmill, I'm tired of being on the merry-go-round. I make more money, I buy a bigger house, I buy more furniture, I go on more vacations and all that. One of these days, maybe life isn't about more of everything. So this guy sitting on his damn porch is explaining this to the New York Times. Yeah, I don't care. I want less. How un-American. He's seeking karma on his porch. Now, you and I both know that we are aggressive Texans. And we are have a lot of energy and a lot of get up and go, et cetera, et cetera. But we got a problem. We got a shortage of labor in this country. And it's not all in the same place. But we got a shortage here. Where do you go to find somebody that works for your firm that can walk, talk, carry on a conversation, have critical thinking, and good manners? Where do you find somebody like that? Right there. They say, please, thank you, and I'm sorry, and that's the end of the final exam. Okay, so we've got stuff going on here. Over 2 million erected at the border, on the Texas border. They prefer Texas because we treat them better and give them a free trip to Chicago. We've got global deflation that is a possibility where all prices come down. All prices come down. Why? Why? I thought we had inflation. Well, that's the whiplash of inflation when there's a shortage of money. Prices correct too quickly, and then they're worth less today than they were yesterday. This is a real problem. And, of course, real estate requires utility and all that, but don't think we couldn't have a depression. We could. So now we've got CFOs betting against the strong dollar, which is really pretty smart. That means we haven't seen inflation yet if the value of the dollar drops. I'm getting pretty excited about it, man. I really am. And then we've got these new tax credits on solar panels on your roof. How many people have solar panels on their roof? Got smart people in here. But a lot of times people don't realize it, don't ever do anything strictly for a tax reason. And that's what they're doing, of course. And then what a lot of people don't realize in Texas, if you make excess electricity from your property, however you do it, wind or solar, we can't sell it back into the grid. So we're not going to do it. And not only that, why not just make electricity out of a thing called natural gas? Yeah. That's what you get after Mexican food. Okay, now Baen, now listen. Listen is Ntccim. Who speaks Spanish? Did I say it right? Escucha or escucha?
Escuche.
Thank you. Okay. So, Biden says he's going to put charging places on the interstate highways in Texas where you can plug in your car. See, how many people have a totally electric car here? Let's see your hands. Oh, well, fantastic. You don't look like you're from California. But you know what I'm doing? I'm trying to save energy. So I go to Whole Foods and I unplug them all. Yeah, I'm doing my part for Green, Texas. Or y'all think that's funny? What are people thinking about? This green energy, you know? I'll get into it because it has to do with real estate, a lot of it. But just pretend you don't see the big diesel generator in the background while you charge your electric car. Every time you step up or step down energy, you lose money. And, you know, or you're exporting yeah, but clean energy, it's got a carbon footprint. Oh, really? Well, let's just see about that. Hang on, I'll get there. Anyway, so Lyft is laying off people, Twitter's laying off people, Uber's laying off people, Meta is laying off people, Google, Amazon's going to lay off 12,000, and they're starting in the executive suite. You know, I don't know about you, but, you know, cryptocurrency is what I'm going to bet my money on. And Bitcoin bulls come under pressure. We'll talk about that. Now, land, and I got to get into land market, okay? This is the weekend. We've only been in school for 5 days, okay? And so I have to refer to my notes to make sure you get it. Land prices have gone out the roof. Anything within 60 miles of Dallas-Fort Worth is over 10,000. 10,000 acres. It's crazy. And the reason is COVID was one of those deals. people are selling their houses in the Metroplex, and the average move is over 50 miles. So they're picking up stakes and moving somewhere, okay? That's somewhere. They sold 97,000 houses in Texas, the realtors did. 97,000 in the last 90 days. So don't talk to me about how bad the housing market is. That's bullshit. Talking to the Torah. You know, they're still selling like crazy. And the commissions that are attached to those houses are like unbelievably great. So 97,000 houses, and the realtor, they're having their big deal over in Florida this week, their national deal. There's 1.6 million card-carrying, dues-paying realtors. There's not realtor, okay? It's realtor. How many people in this room are realtors? I'm not. I sell a lot of stuff. I'm not going to pay that $100 a month. I'm not doing it. So the other thing is there's been a tiny house craze. How many people have a tiny house? I had one, but I sold it. This time last year I had it, and some idiot came along and offered me so much money I had to sell it. But I started 2 more, okay? And I really have. And then the projection of people coming is going to be great. The land is going to be great. Land's going to be gold. The real gold in the land business, ladies and gentlemen, particularly those in the back, is the ETJ land. That's out of the city limits, in the county. That is absolute gold. Why isn't it in the city limits? Why is land in the ETJ worth more than land in the city?
Less taxes.
Less taxes? We don't pay any tax. We've got cows on our land. What's wrong with you, Stone? We got stones for the last 3 years. I don't know if you heard about it. But to make a long story short, in the ETJ is where the action is. That's where the tiny houses can be. That's where the communities for rent can be. Why aren't the cities allowing this? Oh no, you know, I'm the Flower Mound community communist town. I only want $1 million houses or more. Well, let me just tell you where the action is. The action is affordability is everything. Absolutely everything. The people that are wanting to buy a house, they don't care how big it is necessarily, okay? So let me give you an example. There are 5,000 lots south of downtown, which is right over there. Downtown is still right over there. Yeah, is it going to be a donut or what's it going to be? It's been doing pretty good actually. But in south of there, there's 5,000 lots the city has for sale for $5,000. You buy the lot, it's got sewer, it's got water, it's got electricity, it's a freestanding lot, and you can buy it for $5,000. However, you got to build a house within 2 years. And if you don't, you get fined or whatever the problem is, I don't know. But there's a bunch of people over there building 900 and 1,200 square foot houses. How smart is that? And they're selling them for a lot more per square foot, and they're not finishing them out really nice, like the Plano, Frisco, Prospo, Salino, Oklahoma, okay? It's just a plain Jane house like it used to be in the 50s and 60s. Just a plain kitchen, etc. But I gotta get going, I'm behind. How you doing, darling? No, you don't be sorry, you kid. Okay, so we got to talk about solar farms are taking up a bunch of land. 87,000 acres of land in Texas has already gone to solar, okay? Now the deal with that is 87,000 sounds like a really nice number. Anybody have any solar on their farm or whatever? You better consult with your clients that think that that's a great idea. It's not necessarily a great idea. It's also not clean. And the reason being is there's a little place called Crum. They got really crummy houses in Crum. But to make a long story short, they got 4,000 acres of these. I think they're up there. Got to keep going here. Hang on. 34% number of land transactions in the last 12 months, but they're crashing right now. Sunbelt, Land Rush, all the people up north that come down here buying our land. Here's the average cost, the average price for land in 4 counties. Since we're in North Texas, we're just talking about North Texas, okay? And it says over here that Cook County is almost 20,000. Montague County, which it costs $4 to send a postcard to Montague County, is so far the hell out there. And land is $12,000 an acre. Wise County is $18,000 an acre. It's crazy. And we got this guy. Is he here today? He is putting joint ventures together and buying up every bit of land he can with joint ventures and stuff. He's got a vulture fund, but there's no deals in the road yet. But he's buying a lot of land. And, you know, we've sold all the big land, the 4/6s and stuff like that. Global food prices are up 22 to 40%. That goes directly to the value of the land. If you're a farmer, etc., that's the land trend for the last 10 years in Texas. You can't go wrong, apparently. But the land bank has kept their land. I used to borrow money. I used to, but it's gone from 5.5% interest to 8.9 for a 20-year fixed at the land bank. You better be one rich hombre, man. What's the opposite of hombre? A mohair. Mohera. I had some goats, they were mohera. Yeah. So anywho, there's a land rush still going on, and cities cannot expand their boundaries like they used to, and people are getting out there and buying 3-acre tracts, 10-acre tracts, $15,000 to $30,000 an acre, and this is just one brochure. Let me show you a few more. I collect them. Okay, oh, that's out in Crump. Oh yeah. So what goes on there? Man, I'd like to have that land, wouldn't you? I'd like to be having the cash flow on that. Let me just warn your clients. They have a fixed cash flow on there, not as a percentage of what the electricity generated is. Oil and gas lease, you get a percentage of whatever the operator gets, but not on solar. They fixed it. Okay. The other thing is you lose your ag. Oh hell, the ag exemption's gone. And then also when the company goes broke because a hailstorm comes along, then you're back at market and you've got to haul all that crap off. You know? So 87,000 acres of green energy. I got to keep going here. That's the train going to Houston. Land rush may be hitting the brakes soon. A lot of deals are falling out right now, both in the urban and in the suburban and in the rural right now because of the interest rates. So single family home, still the best investment ever in Texas, okay? You get to write off things. I'm not going to tell you things you already know. The move-up market has stalled. The move-down market has stalled. And I don't want to say that the market is bad right now. It's normalizing. It wasn't normal for the last 2 years with 28% appreciation per year and stuff like that. I mean, that's like fairy book stuff. Let me see here. You borrow the money at 4.5%, and it appreciates at 24 to 28%. I mean, we call that positive leverage. I mean, you'd have to be stupid not to do that deal, right? But now we got a little problem. And that's because the interest rates are greater and the incomes have not gone up as fast. Okay, so what we have, I got to go back. So what we have, we got some older people like myself and, where's Grunner? Is he sitting around here somewhere? Grunner. He and I are the same age. Oh, God, he's up back here over in the corner over there. I can't see that far. And he can't hear you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So what we got here is the taxes are going up. House is paid for. And it might be your parents, it might be you, I don't know. And my spouse died. So they're happy. How are we going to pay for this house? I'm going to take in some boarders, by God. I'm going to rent out some goddamn rooms. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some elderly gentlemen, some hot old women, and I'm going to rent rooms out for $900 a month. I got 5-bedroom house. I sleep in one. They sleep in 4, and I'm making $40 grand a year in my house. What do y'all think about that deal? You think it's new? Over in England and London, it was the thing to do back when big houses were in style. Everybody did that. They turned their houses into rooming houses, and they would cook for their clients or their live-ins and stuff like that. But now I got another story to tell you. Oh, I got a question. I got a few questions. We got young people doing the same thing because Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will allow rooms rented prior to the closing of a loan to count towards qualifying ratios. Huh, how's that work, Baen? How's that work? I'll tell you how it works. I'm 24 years old. I just got out of school. I make $50,000 a year, and I got to buy a house that's a $250,000, $300,000 house. But there aren't any. At the lower third of the market, there's no houses, man. I'm telling you, the realtors are buying them. Everybody's buying the 285 houses that they can rent them for $2,500 all day long. Like that. So there is no supply of those houses. So they buy a $400,000 house, but they get 3 of their buddies to sign individual room leases at the bar. Say, man, you want to sign a lease? I'll buy you 4 beers if you just sign here. Why are y'all laughing? How else could they do it, by God? You don't lease a room out until you own the house, can't show them the damn thing. And then you got D.R. Horton. Anybody here from D.R. Horton? I am looking for a scholarship from those people because they're hiring a bunch of our students, like a whole bunch. Construction, sales, everything like that. Well, D.R. Horton now has deed restrictions. You can't rent your house. You can't rent a dang house. You know? I don't even want to go into it because they're the 900-pound gorilla. And so since the other thing that's going on, I got to tell you right now, then we'll get back to the questions. Sorry, I'm trying to focus here, but I'm having trouble. Oh, it's so beautiful. Don't be laughing. It's true. So, the 4 rent communities, right? Anybody familiar with them? Been around? There's 4,900 units in Tarrant County alone that are outside of the city limits, most of them, and standalone, and they will rent for between $2,500 a month and $3,400 a month. Now, the average apartment rent is $1,680, but the average house to buy is just too far for them. You know, the $4,000 a month, they can't do it. So they're gonna, if you got 2 kids living in a goddamn apartment, you're gonna pay whatever you can to get the hell out of there. And your dog needs a place to pee. But here's the secret. Why are you laughing, Stone? Listen to me. Let me tell you what the secret move is. The secret move is we're gonna build 240 rental community units. Freestanding, 12 to 1,400 square foot houses, because the city won't let us do that on small lots, etc. So what they're going to do here is, and they go in and they do all these things, and the big guys are doing it. Hillwood's doing it, Toll Brothers doing it, BBB is doing it, and D.R. Horton is doing it, building these rental communities. It is the smartest move you can ever even think about. Why is that? Well, because when you rent them, you're going to have outstanding tax deductions. There's lines, people waiting in lines to rent these things. They're going to appreciate like crazy, more than likely. And do you think those tenants would like to buy that unit, real cheap ass unit? It wasn't finished out very well? Yeah. I mean, you can sell them for 300 grand all day long, and they only cost 180 to 200 grand each because they're crummy houses. So then the big guys that do the community, and I think he's brilliant. I'm not finding fault at all. They're going to plat those things and sell them to those people. And they're going to make more per square foot than any other house that you've ever seen other than a mobile home. Now, mobile homes are behind 14 months, by the way, on delivery. Okay, got to talk about number of houses for sale. Okay, we're going to talk about that. But people that take on boarders. Some interesting questions here. You know, our tax laws are great for homestead protection, homestead tax benefits and stuff like that. If the old lady or the old guy, let's say Brunner takes on, he takes on some boarders. Is the insurance appropriate if you have boarders in your house? Ooh. Oh, dang, don't bring that up. Do paying shared houses violate HOA or zoning laws? Everybody's my brother. I come from the Abraham tribe. Does the owner still qualify for owner occupancy for property tax purposes? Ooh. Oh. If I sell the house, do I still get tax-free profits up to $250,000 to $500,000 on the IRS code? Ooh. Baen, quit asking questions. We better be moving on here. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Homes in the lower third are going to be gold. Just buy them. Let's see here. What else here? Migrants to Texas. Don't talk about that. Home sites the lots need to get smaller.
The houses need to get smaller, but the cities are fighting us, and the school districts, they've gotten so involved with zoning, it's pathetic. They show up in the zoning deal, we don't want your kids, we don't want your kids. We, you know, our school district is broke, et cetera, et cetera. Argyle is one of the worst, North Lake is in the second worst, and Flower Mound is the absolute worst. Okay, now, we've got a lot of, on homes, discount brokers are moving in like crazy. I gotta get through this, because you don't care about homes. They're still holding strong, our values are still good, they're not appreciating at the same rate. We've got more buyers getting cold feet with the builders. They're trying to get out of their contracts or make a deal. There's a lot of concessions going on with builders right now. You know, they might get some below market interest rates. I got one yesterday. One of the builders has 5.8%, 30-year fixed mortgages with 5% down. I don't know if he or she or they went to an insurance company, to a profit sharing plan. I don't know who's going to lend them the 5.5%, and they'll pay 10%, up to 10% loan closing costs for you. So this is bullshit. Sellers slash asking prices. Those are only in houses over $1.2 million. If you really read it, okay, the other houses, it's taking almost 30 days to sell the median house today. Oh my God, the market's gone to hell. No more 3 or 4 offers in one day. Come on, guys. That is still good. It used to be, you better plan on 3 months of marketing before you sell your house. But that's not the case. So, you know, you got to watch what's in. House market is at the mercy of interest rates. Oh, really? You know, we got more than that going on. We've got increased prices, increased down payments, increased loan amounts, higher property taxes, higher insurance rates, and less tax deductible, particularly over $750,000 or $10,000 in taxes. So, Wise County, God, look at that. House prices are up 23% in 1 month, in 1 year. Is that good or bad? It's too late for you guys. It's normalized. Go to the next one here. And active listings are up 105%. It went from 4 listings to 8. Just kidding. Cook County house prices are up 90% in 1 year, 12 months. Well, what does that have to do with me? I'm a commercial guy or a commercial lady in Plano, Baen. Well, because the housing market is everything, supports everything else. But what they're not showing you there is a lot of that 90% increase are new houses. People out, you know, building on 2 acres and building a $400,000 house. And so Cook County's got some new pioneers out there that are skewing the market. So don't take it at face value, okay? Not all houses in Gainesville went up 90%. Denton County went up 11%, it's 445. And we won't do the qualifying ratios on a 445, but you have to make about $150,000 a year to get a median house price loan today, and even more than that with interest rates going up. Okay, now, Montague County, house prices are down 6.1%, oh my God. But the active listings have gone up to 75. That's where I'd be buying properties, that's what I'd be doing. So, CDs are going crazy. Mr. Cooper is one of the largest lenders and mortgage servicers in the world. They're laying off people right and left. Wells Fargo closed their mortgage department. I had a student that came to my house on Friday night. I had an alumni association meeting at my house. It was quite interesting. It rained so hard. There were probably 250 people in my living room. I'd never seen such people loving each other so much. He said, Baen, I made $280,000 last year. Been out of school 2 years as a loan officer. I said, what's your plan B, buddy? That's why I came to ask you. I don't have, go join the Army, man. You remember when you were young, you had all the ideas and you had everything all pegged out and you invested in crypto. You know, President Obama, I got great respect for the guy. He had a White House dinner. Invited all the smartest people in the entire world to come. The mathematicians, the physicists, the chemists, the economists. I didn't get an invite. And he started the dinner like this. We haven't had this many brains in the White House since Thomas Jefferson had dinner by himself in this room. We're not as smart as we think we are, people. And let's not count on that Fed. Fed is not that big, man. I mean, they have an unlimited checking account. We know that. But can they really wag the entire world economy? I'm kind of worried about that, you know. I mean, I think we win either way in the business that we're in. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. So, 70% of all first-time home buyers in Texas are Latinos, man. What do y'all think about that? Hola. Habla Espanol. Can you say Consuelo? Okay. And of course, these are some of the first-time houses that they're buying because it's better than what they had in Mexico. And they're moving 50 miles away, and it's no longer embarrassing to say I live in a travel trailer. You know, they think it's cool. It's like a tiny house. You know, that's awesome. And then we've got these tiny house barn-dominiums, 2 acres for $114,000, and people are going to finish them out themselves. You know, because I've got 2 hands, I can do this. I can hang sheetrock. I can make it happen. I'm going to forge a home on the prairie. There are thousands of these things going on, man. There's an 11-month waiting list on the barn-dominium being built. They're selling these things out 3 to 5 acre tracts in 2 to 4 days. They're financing them. They don't even have the roads in yet. How's that work, Baen? Well, up in Montague County, the county commissioners require them to put up a big bond. And they're going to pave the roads within 12 months. That's part of their deal. And they've got internet connections and the whole thing. So, but there's nothing new about this. It happened in London 100 years ago during the war and during the wars and the wars, the Dominion War. People left London and they went out to their little garden house. They had that little house, you know, and it was on channel 13. What was the name of that show? They had and they were living in this little garden house. I don't remember either. BBC. All right, got to keep going here. I got to hurry. That was yesterday, 2.25%. This is the number of home buyers on the right-hand side taking money out of their equity, borrowing against their equity. Wow, last time that happened was 07, 08. Wow, that's interesting. So the line in the middle up there in San Francisco, there's 43,000 vacancies in San Francisco right now, 43,000. Now, we got these home sellers that are so smart, they're going to keep their old house and rent it out. So our economy is changing, and our data is too. I got to hurry up here, man. I don't want to talk about that. House price has gone up to 30%. That's the home of the future, if you can find one. Don't want to talk about that. Over at Flower Mound, they just approved a 1,000-acre mixed development deal. I had something to do with that. Home sales fall by 17% in September. Are you kidding me? It's the time of year where we slow things down. And there's another one of those deals, welcome home. I don't want to talk about rental communities, but just trust me, the rents are up 18% from a year ago. The Young and the Renters, Harvest, that's a Perot Hillwood deal, and they've got a rental deal, that's what it looks like, and just rent it up like crazy. Got to hurry up here, man, I'm behind. We got fewer commissions. We'll talk about that. And then what is this up here in Providence, where they don't allow people to have Section 8? I thought this was America. We need, I mean, that's just plain wrong. Not allowing people to stay in there. We don't want to talk about that. Okay, I got to go. There you go. Welcome back from skiing. You lost your house. Foreclosures are again going out the roof relative to how they've been the last 3 years. And it's not going to be all the houses. It's going to be the cheapest ones that don't meet city code, and the houses over $1.2 million. I got to hurry up. Oh, and just to let you know, statewide ban on homeless camps. You're not allowed to have those anymore. That's like outlawing sex, you know. Apartment market is on fire. Laura, how much time do I have? I'm good? Yeah. How good? Oh, man, I got to hurry up. I'm behind. Now, new apartment stock, we're the top apartment market in the United States, both in rents, that's not in rents, in occupancy and in construction. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It is just so hard to figure. And there are deals being shelved every day because of the interest rate, not the interim interest rate, but the long term is getting really long and it's getting tough. There's deals, you know, if the cap rate is 4.5 or 5, and the interest rate on the long term is we got a problem, guys. You know, guy stepped up in my lecture I had the other day. And said, I want to short houses, Baen. I want to short them. Okay. How do you do that? I said, you become a lender. It's true. I mean, if you're so smart, go ahead and lend on it, and you get them for 30% less or whatever the down payment is. So, the gap between home ownership and renting has never been wider, ever. Our kids may be doomed to renting until you buy them a house, or until you die and they move in your house after you're dead. I woke up the other night and they had a mirror over my mouth. I thought I was at a family gathering or something. He said, oh shuck, he's still breathing. All right. But there's nothing new there either, guys. Listen to me. For the whole world, England, Germany, France, etc., the only way kids get a house is for the parents to die and for them to stay there and not have to move. We have socialized housing in this country. Thank goodness for the government, FHA, VA, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Farmer Mac, all that. So let's not complain about the government's programs unless, when the market gets bad. Apartment conversions, I haven't heard that term in 20 years, Baen, where you take an apartment complex, and what we're going to do is we built it for $200,000, and it's like new, and it is new. And what we're going to do is we're going to convert them to condos. It's a new concept. But they can sell them all day long for $300,000, $350,000, even though they don't cost $200,000. So like the Aggie said, Dawn, I just bought a new condo. Or he said, great, now I can throw my diagram away, is what the wife said. Okay, now, we'll move around. On-campus shortage. UNT is out the roof, got 46,000 students, and no apartments on campus. That right there is a 400 square foot cabin. They're making them in Montague County, they're making them in Greenville, they're making them all around. And they rent for $950 a month. It's a four-year payback. What's the problem with that whole picture? Where are we going to put them? Who will allow them on your land? The septic tank costs $12,000, $14,000 to go with that thing. And I don't know. All I'm telling you is they're all rented. You can buy one of those for $50,000. There's a waiting list right now. So I got to keep going here. Infections are down, but evictions are spiking, particularly in Dallas County. Dallas County foreclosures are going crazy, and the evictions are also happening on when financing gets tough. What's the next thing? The next deal is one of two things: owner financing. I just owner financed a deal for $1.55 million at 5.5% interest only for 5 years, with 25% down. They put 25% down, and I get $6,700 per month, interest only, for 5 years. Good deal, bad deal? It's all ordinary income. Have I structured it such that I could possibly get it back? That would be evil. But owner financing is going crazy again. But you need to stretch out there and ask your sellers, or ask yourself, maybe I can get more because I'm owner financing, see? And I can write the terms, see? All right? So that's what's going on in some of that kind of stuff like that. We've got to talk about warehouses. Warehouses. Okay. Everybody knows warehouses are going crazy. In South Dallas County, 20 million square feet, Alliance, 13, and a million square foot warehouse. Let's just contemplate that for a second. There's lots of them out there, man. Say again.
16 of them are over a million.
This guy's got it together, man.
Yeah.
That's 25 acres under one roof, guys. That's 25 football fields under one roof. What's an alternative use of that? Oh shit. I don't know. We could teach people to fly in there with airplanes. We could fill it up full of water. We could, there'd be a water tower on the deal. I got an idea. In California, there's way too many warehouses right now, which we'll talk about in a second. And they're tilt walls. We'll just get us a Chinook helicopter and bring those walls over to Dallas and set them up. There's a lot of rumors out there about some people using their option not to renew the lease after 1 year. And they own the equipment. They own the air conditioning, they own the wiring, they own the fixtures in the bathroom, they own the kitchen stuff, they own all that kind of stuff. They inform the landlord that they're leaving. Adios, see you, don't want to be you. And they're stripping the building. Amazon would never default like that, would they? Oh my God. All right, so anyway, I gotta keep going here. Rapid overbuilding, we've had a lot of land deals, and there's no shortage of shipping. There's a shortage of shipping containers in China, but not here. I've actually bought two. And long story short, domestic U.S. freight expenditures have gone up 80%. Domestic shipping, industrial steel has gone out the roof. Lowe's and Home Depot still have marked up lumber that's in the $1,200 range. Now it's down to $350. The problem is they still have their inventory they got to pay for. I got to keep going here. Industrial land market has suffered severely in the last 120 days. There's a lot of people not closing their deals. I had 3 and one of them is closed and the other 2 going bye-bye. In the DFW market, there are many industrial developers. You know, we all know that when something's hot, we all jump on it. So I think industrial building's a good idea. No. I think storage, you know what, self-storage. That's what we're all going to do at the same time. Just don't come into my market, okay? Because I like my deal. It's difficult to hire anybody, and a fulfillment center for Amazon. Have anybody ever been in one of those things? It is anything but fulfilling. I put on my helmet, I have my clipboard, I walk in the front door, I have on a tie. They don't even ask me if I need to be, why I'm there. They just know I need to be there. And when I walk down that aisle and I see all those people and they're looking up, he's here to save us. No. They pay really good, $45,000 a year. But it is a miserable goddamn life, you know. But anyway, that's another story. But they're doing what they need to do for their family. All right, that's Tesla down in Austin, and it's completely automated, and they've got drones flying around, making sure nobody's stealing construction equipment. Hillwood is selling $5 billion in warehouses at Alliance. I read that, and I'm like, you know, he is smart. I'm not talking about a short guy with big ears. I'm talking about a tall guy. He is hardly ever wrong. I don't know who his advisors are, but when he's selling, I'm selling. When he's buying, I'm buying. You can't go broke making a profit. Let's see here. Hold that for me. How much do I have in it? Is my profit absolutely ridiculously illegal? I've made so much money. Sell! Don't use your HP 12C to try to figure out what your rate of return is. Who gives a shit? Time to go. So, we're going to have some tests in the warehousing business. We got a lot of people selling right now in the last, 3 to 6 months. They're taking their profit, they're moving on. They're taking their profit, they're moving on. The cargo carriers, we got an interesting thing going on. California, Long Beach. Remember, I was born in California, I didn't tell you that. But those guys struck. The ships were piled up out there. The dock workers said, we want more money. Truck drivers said, we want more money. And stuff just got all screwed up because the whole world rotates around California, true or false. And ship captains got orders. You go to Houston. You go to Corpus Christi. You go to Savannah, Georgia. You go to New Jersey. Get the hell out of California. And now all the workers are saying, where are the ships? Where are the ships? And it's not just in the dock workers. Everybody wants more money because we have inflation. Therefore, we'll just charge more or we'll do it slower and work longer hours. This country's got a problem, man. And it's labor and the attitude towards labor. We don't want to become like France, man. I don't like France at all. And so we still have global shipping chaos. Container imports fall in California ports, but they're going up like crazy. So therefore, they've got too many warehouses, and we may not have enough along the East Coast, etc. All right, so we got bottlenecks all of a sudden on the East Coast instead of the West Coast. And real estate, the last time I checked, is status. I mean, it stays where it is. We can't move it. We've got Target and those guys selling excess stuff they had in warehouse out of trucks in the parking lot. Why are you laughing? You been over there? Because all of the retailers geared up. They wanted to make sure they had plenty of inventory, except that we didn't show up to buy it. Macy's is down today 23%. No. All right, who's been to Macy's in the last year? Did your wife work there? That was a joke. I'm sorry, he's the property manager. So we got more, it was $26,000 to get a shipping container from China to the United States. It's gone down to about $13,000. And dock workers wanting more, they're striking all over the place. Port workers are striking more all over the place. The goddamn trains. I had the honor of having a presentation with JLL and BNSF in a closed room, no secrets, for 2 hours. Can you imagine that? Oh boy, that's terrible. And that was the week they had a strike of 125,000 train workers. Now the train workers, they deliver the stuff from the ships to wherever they need to go, see? Well, because it's cheaper than trucks. Then all the truck guys are getting $100 grand a year, and that's until they flunk the drug test every other month. All right, how many people have peed in the cup lately? So the trains have taken over on the cars with the shipping containers. And the train people at BNSF said the following. I am sure that Warren Buffett's having a cow right now. He need one smart dude. And they said, okay, we want to raise. How much? 24%. Oh, well, yeah, we can't do that, says Warren. We just can't do that. Go ahead and strike. Biden has them over to the White House 4 weeks ago before the election. Said, come on over here, we can sort this out. So Warren goes over there, and all the BNSF people go over there and say, okay, we'll do the 24. And the union said, no. We want 24 retroactively for 2 years. And they said yes. And then they struck anyway. What the hell is this, man? The world doesn't rotate around them, it rotates around me. Now, so we've got all this stuff going on. People are stealing trains with all the stuff on it. It's just like the Old West. Isn't that cool? And then we got these interruptions in the Suez Canal. I'm sure that was not an accident. And so we got a problem with China right now. Our dollar is so strong, and they keep dropping the value of their currency. Is that good or bad? It means we buy more for less. Their people stay employed, and ours don't. The dollar strong is not good. They had a trade surplus last year, biggest in history. But we don't read about that in the newspaper. Remember, I read 4 a day. And so we've got record highs for them. So what's keeping CFOs up? Cargo containers raided by thieves. The train parks, and the guys move in and take everything out of there. Computer parts, chips, whatever. And they seem to know what's in there. It's inside job. So nobody wants warehouses anymore. They don't know how to spell. Now, shipping squeeze. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, dollar stores. Dollar stores are having trouble. General dollar store having trouble. Because they can't call it a dollar anymore because of the China 25% tax that Trump put on China. You know, so that money comes into the U.S. coffers. Who gets that? The government gets it. Well, so now everything's going to cost $1.25. Yuck. Same goes with Walmart. Walmart stock is out the roof this week. And the traditional shopping retail is way down. And that's because it's going to be so Ford's let go 300 white-collar jobs. Bitcoin, I don't even want to talk about them anymore. Retail cut forecast for earnings, not good. Lowe's, not doing good. Dollar store, not doing real good because people are broke. Homes wallets open to adult kids. Oh, you got laid off? Come live with mom and dad. I'll make you a favorite lasagna every Wednesday. And now we've got HEB coming now. We have 28 sites in North Texas. Anybody done a deal with them? I need to talk to you afterwards. The problem with them is they don't want to build until it's time to build. You know, we want them to build within 2 years, and they're going to tell us no, probably. Office. I want to zoom through office. The problem with office is that we've got record office construction going on right now. Tallest building in Texas under construction as we speak. Usually, wherever the cranes are, you know, the construction cranes, it's time to leave that market because it gets overbuilt. And remember, under COVID, 42% of American workers in offices have gone back to the office. But we're close to 80% in Texas because we have a work ethic. And then we've got our Twitter guy, we've got our guy saying to Twitter people, and hey, first of all, I'm firing 12,000 of you, starting at the top. Second of all, you will have your bum on seats 40 hours a week, and we're going to put an indicator in every seat so we can tell how many times you get up and go pee and don't come back. This is getting weird. And the tech people are out there, the rumor on the street is they're going to strike. It shuts down Twitter. That's interesting. Who owns who? What a war. How fast would it take Twitter stock to go to hell in a handbasket? And 44 billion. Holy cow. I don't know. I like you to think critically of me and everything else. I got to keep going here. Wells Fargo getting new buildings. Goldman Sachs new buildings. All these high finance guys are moving to Dallas. CBRE. How many people with CBRE in here? They moved their headquarters here. Thank you very, very much. They moved their headquarters here because it costs less to lose money in Texas. Don't laugh. You can last longer. It's like playing the penny slot machine. So loan demand is going to help. The banks are hurting right now because they're not making the loan fees. I believe what the Fed's going to do is they're going to loosen it on real estate and particularly on houses. Why is that? Because it's so important to our economy. Houses and house sales and building houses, developing land and putting in sewer and all that. Title companies, mortgage fees, people, furniture companies. Man. So I believe they're going, it used to be the 10-year, which is going to be 4.5 again within 10 days, plus 2 is what the interest rate is on a 30-year fixed. I believe they're going to make some special financing because the realtors, 1.6 of them, are raising holy hell because house sales have stalled in a lot of the United States. I got to hurry up here. So, a lot of people, I'm going to office at home. 74-story tower will be the tallest in Texas. Oh, those people are crazy. The boss is in the office, but the workers aren't. Deadlines. You're coming or you're not. Well, here's how the lawsuits go. Oh, you want to stay home? You want to telecommute? Is that right? Just say yes. Well, you're very important. He's very talented. Our company can't make it without him. He's our analyst, right? And, you know, so don't tell anybody that you're not required to come to the office, okay? Now, I'm going to come back over here. Now, ma'am, we want your ass in the chair on Monday morning. Do you think that's a lawsuit? That some people stay at home and some people stay at home? We're in trouble, guys. Not in Texas because we have a work ethic, but even in the classrooms. You know, a year and a half ago, I was teaching Zoom classes, which are absolutely no fun at all. I have a live class at 9:30, 100 kids there, they all show up. I don't take roll. They bring their girlfriends, they bring their boyfriends. I feel like I'm Jesus. But the 11 o'clock class is Zoom, see? And I can see them. They don't realize I can see them. And some of them half naked. They're not interested. Distracted. And the 11 o'clock class, same exact material, same lecture, same exam, same review for the exam, made 30% less than the live class. So don't you think Zoom is just as good as live. It may be for some of you nerds, but not most of you. Okay, so enough of that. I gotta hurry up here. There's a lot of space for sublease because we don't know whether the chairs are gonna be full or not. The top markets in the entire United States is Dallas, Fort Worth, and Austin. I don't want to talk about that. Who knows on the layoffs what's going to happen. they're saying that the office block started 30 years ago, and we haven't needed as many offices, but we keep building them. That's not true for Texas, because businesses are moving here, et cetera, et cetera. So work in the office rates jumped to highest since the 20s, since early 20. 41% is high. That means 59% of the seats are vacant on these floors in these office buildings. Not in Texas, we're doing good. So, tallest high rise in Dallas, ooh, I get worried about that. Chinese firms flee U.S. commercial sector. Holy cow. For those that can't see it, they were a very important part of our economy. And I know several people in this room did a lot of business with China. But look at this little line down here. Oh my God. I mean, Chinese have pulled the plug. Not only are they not buying, they're selling. They're getting the hell out. They're not happy with us. I'm predicting war within 3 years. I don't know with who, but I think we're going to do it. And I think some of these young people need to go sign up right now. So the other thing that's going on with the 45,000 layoffs in Silicon Valley is that a lot of them are H-1B foreigners that got into the country because they had a special talent. And if they don't find another job, it's adios back to Vietnam or wherever they come from. And that's a heartbreak deal because they bought a house and the whole deal. It's not like we don't allow nouveau Americanos not to buy a house. They're buying houses. I know a builder right now who's selling 375 to 425 houses. He's financing them 100% owner financing on brand new houses. He sold over 20 last year. The problem is he brought me all the notes and deeds of trust. He says, I'd like to cash in on these, man. Well, what is the deal? Well, they're 7% loans. And what's the face amount of them? So I went through all of them, had all the collections, had copies of their driver's license from Mexico City. I had copies of their driver's license and the whole thing. They were all foreigners. And a 7% mortgage rate in a 4.5 environment. And I took them to the investor. The investor worked the numbers. Well, the investor said, I'm going to give you X for it. I think it was like $12 million. Instead of face amount, it was $15 million. And the guy turned me down. And now he's calling up and said, can you go get that guy again? Because interest rate went out. Okay, I got, IRS. God dang. Oh, Lord. 27,000 new IRS agents. Isn't that great? So I got to keep going here. Sorry. Got to hurry. Oh, chips. Look at that, man. Texas is King Kong Daddy on chips. And I guess it's Sherman. Sherman Denison is going to have $37 billion plant built up there. I don't know how much of it's robotics. I don't know anything about how many they're going to hire. Maybe some, maybe no. I don't know. So that's going on. I'm not. Yeah. I'm sorry, CBRE. I had to put that in there. It's true. But you're doing great. Crescent. The Crescent, right over here, right? They've already put together a vulture fund. Yeah, $265 million. Yeah, they're anticipating there's going to be some deals in the United States, and they're players. Okay, last thing. I don't want to talk about this. This has to do with the IRS, and I'm here to tell you that you guys need to sharpen up your accounting skills. You need to be sure and write checks. Who, when, what, where, and why. Because the IRS is coming. They're going to audit us. We've gotten a little sloppy over the last 3 to 5 years. Use either credit card or use checks. Who, when, what, why, and where. Remember that, okay? That's all you need. That is the new uniform. That's the new uniform for the IRS. And remember, they went into former President Trump's house, the FBI and the IRS, and stormed the house looking for stuff. All right, so remember, who, when, what, why, and where on anything you're doing in business, and you need to be able to prove it. Corporations now have a 15% alternative minimum tax. Is that inflationary? A 15% corporate tax, minimum. I'm sorry. Is that inflationary? Well, what do you think the corporations are going to do? They're going to raise their goddamn prices 15% to offset the goddamn tax, right? So we're not done with inflation. You're in the right business, right time, right place. Let me see, go back here now. Propose new rules for partnerships. Stock buyback excise tax of 1%. That's a joke. Tax credits. Number 6. $75 for new electric vehicles. Two of them had a wreck the other day and got electrocuted. Listen, guys, California has passed a law, and they passed a law in 10 years, no gasoline or diesel vehicles will be allowed to be sold in California. I can't wait for that to fall over. That is absolute. But they did the same thing in Japan. They said after 5 years, you can't drive a car anymore. It has to be junked or sold overseas. I bought 2 of them. All right, I really did. I think the BS green energy tax credits is a bunch of BS. IRS to raise tax brackets, standard by deduction 7%. That means the minimum. That means the standard deduction of 24,000 for people who don't own a house or don't have that many itemized deductions just went up 7%. That's interesting. Conclusion. I'm going into my big conclusion. Everybody stand up. Everybody stand up, America. Stand up. Stand up. You look like dead fish on the beach. Your eyes are open, but they're just not blinking. Stand up, stretch. All right. Growth in Texas is going to continue. Vacant industrial warehouses are going to be a problem. Inflation caused by printing money is a good thing for our business. Hard assets. Everybody sit down. You make me sit. Now, hard assets. Number 1 is gold. Gold is down $500 an ounce. Why? Somebody is dumping gold. One country or somebody is getting rid of gold because it doesn't make income and all that. Ground, real estate is good. These are Baen's G's. Gas, oil and gas is always good. Grub, which is gone up 22% commodities. Guns are really, really good. And God is really, really good, okay? So the residential market is going to be driven by negative sellers, people that have to sell. If people have not wanted to sell lately, stayed there, they did not sell because they didn't have an alternative place to move to. That wasn't more expensive than what they were selling. So here are the D's. Divorce is great. Death, pretty good. Dysfunctional family, fantastic. Too much debt. We got too much debt, we got to sell. Disease, oh yeah. And dementia. I didn't even know I had a house. These are the people that are going to drive the prices down from the middle market up. The have-tos are going to have to sell. And I can't mention any companies' names, but they sell houses over 1.2 million. And the people that are buying those houses right now have no idea about the tax limitations of $10,000 on property tax deductions. They have no idea that any mortgage over $750,000, you cannot deduct the interest. They have no idea. And their salesmen are not telling them. It's going to happen. The shit is going to hit the fan. No, the caca is going to hit. How do you say fan? Okay. Affordable houses that just says there were 97,000 houses sold in Texas last 90 days. We got 40,500 single-family homes vacant in San Francisco today. The city council has passed a law that landlords have to pay $500 a week for every vacancy. I don't see how that's constitutional, but at the same time, and remember, we don't call them vacancies, they're leasing opportunities. No, Texas isn't the new California. We're a hell of a lot better than that. State tax revenue stays rosy. We got $30 billion in surplus, and oil and gas is rocking and rolling. That's a picture of our typical students. That's me on a ladder that the police told me I had to get off of because they said I was putting my life at risk. And we're raising money for scholarships for students. Last time I gave a speech, one of you guys gave a name scholarship of $50,000. We appreciate that. Jim Lake, Lake Real Estate, he gave $100,000 when he passed away. John Carmichael gave $500,000 when he passed away. And we have two endowed professorships, and we have 6 professors now, and we're looking to raise more scholarships. Last year we gave every single student a scholarship that applied, 26. And our former students and people who like UNT and want to hire our students, they give money. If you want big fanfare, we'll get you a press conference, okay? So the last thing I was going to show you is gold hits, hang on, the dollar The yields on the dollar hit gold prices. I'm almost there. How silicon chips join oil to rule the world. Sherman Denison and TI are really going to change Texas to be even more strong than we are now. And let's see here, got to keep going here. May I remind you of something, myself as well. This is a typical curve, and everything is a cycle. We have hope, optimism, a belief, a thrill, euphoria, complacency, anxiety, denial, panic, and then why didn't somebody tell me we were going to have a Bitcoin meltdown or real estate or whatever it is? Everything that we do every day in our life is a cycle. Sleep cycle, age cycle, fall, winter, spring, all that kind of stuff. Everything in a cycle. So ask yourself, where are we? And then act. Don't just sit there and let the toilet flush on you. This is the great realtor boom. More is better, true or false? Not necessarily. Housing inventory has gone down. Inventory has gone up, but the number of realtors are not making the same amount of money. Number 2 in the nation, number 1 on the East Coast. This guy does not live in Atlanta. He lives in Miami. And he's the number 1 realtor in Atlanta. So I think technology is still going to go, but in terms of being an analyst or being able to think critically, you guys are the best. Home prices have gone up. Realtors' income total has gone down. This is in residential, but I did a deal that closed yesterday. If you're the other half, I did the whole goddamn deal for a quarter point. Would you do a deal for a quarter point? Would you do a deal for a quarter point? Would you do a deal? How big? Now you're getting personal. So, pension liabilities, everybody's worried about it. I really believe the stock market and mutual funds are not going to be really wholesome for a lot of people's retirement. They need to be buying stuff that's real. UNT needs named scholarships. I need everybody to stand up right now. Everybody stand up. Everybody stand up. I want you to give the UNT students a hand for coming today. And I guess I can say I got a standing ovation. Thank you for coming. If I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. I meant it.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Baen. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We really, really appreciate it. We really appreciate all of our sponsors, City of Carrollton Economic Development Department. Thank you very much. And please, everybody, stay tuned for 2023. Join our email list, and we'll be happy to get you involved. Thank you very much, everybody.
No, it is.